what's up, baby? It's Fordee from FordeeTV. So I got a new toy today, a resin printer by Anycubic. I'll leave a link in the description. You want to check it out on Amazon, and that's where I got it from, yo. I thought I'd make a quick video on how to set this thing up, and I watched a video on it last night. It arrived today. I'm not an expert, but this way you see from start to finish, a brand new newbie. I've never used the resin printer before. I don't know anything about it. And yeah, all I've done is unpacked everything. Now, right here, the resin does not come with it. Over here, the light and this little turntable, that's to cure it. It did not come with it. This box of gloves, it did not come with it. But the rest of the stuff you see on the table, it did come with. So right here, we have a manual. And on one side in English, on the other side in Chinese. Ni hao ma. That's as far as I know in Chinese. Huh? Anyway, so we're going to use the English side. I've skimmed through it. I think I got it, right? What could go wrong, yo? Anyway, so let's get started. The first thing it says, I think I need to grab these Allen wrenches right here, because what we're going to do is we're going to take this stuff off right here. See in the background, I have my drill press, huh? I love that thing. Anyway, we're going to take the top off, right? Not my top, the printer. Anyway, next, this is the build platform, right? We're going to take this build platform, and we are going to loosen it. I got to decide, don't worry, stay right there. I got to decide which is the right ones to use here, right? So I think you have to decide what is the right tool, right? And what we want to do is we want to loosen these. And I guess it's this, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it right here. Of course, trying to make this for the video. And we are going to lefty-loosey, right? So we're going to lefty-loosey that puppy. We're going to go lefty-loosey that puppy. Now we're going to turn this puppy around. We're going to lefty-loosey the other sides. Excuse, the door's open, so you're hearing the ambulance outside. And that's because we're going to do a test print with this thing, and it lets off some fumes, huh? So I figured have the door open, you know, so we don't die. Anyway, so now that we've loosened that puppy up, what we need to do next is turn this thing on. You don't have to, on the side, there's an on-off switch. Next, on the front of the LCD, right? You're going to see it starts up. We need to go to Tools. And obviously, every printer is different. I'm just showing you on this one. We're going to say Move Z. We're going to click on 10 millimeter, and we're going to say Up. Now, you see right here, it just moved up, right? And let's see if this is enough. I don't know, huh? If this is enough, right? So I'm going to loosen this puppy up by turning it, obviously, in the left direction. And let's see how this is. When I bring this over, I think probably this has to come off, right? So, obviously. And I also think this leveling paper needs to go underneath. It says this paper can be used for leveling, right? And that's just so you don't damage the glass, etc. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this puppy on. Oops. And obviously, this little notch has to go in this direction, right? And now when I slide this down, it should slide on pretty good. And I'm going to tighten this, right? Now, the reason we had undid those screws is, notice this has some give. So that way, when we tell it to go down, baby. Anyways, let's zoom out a bit. When we tell it to go down, this thing is not going to keep pressing with all its pressure and break the glass. So I think the next step, it says after we do that, click on the home button. So the home button is right there. And now, notice what happened up here, right? You saw the build platen lifted up, then it pressed down. And what has to happen next, it says, wait for the Z-axis to descend. It will stop automatically. Use your fingers to press on this. And when you do so, what we're going to do is we're going to lightly press on this, and we're going to go around tightening the screws, right? So I'm using a single hand here. I'm not making it that tight. I'm pressing with my fingers. Not hard, but enough to make sure it stays in contact where it was. And I'm tightening opposite, right? So the back right one first, then the left front one. Now we'll go left back. Attempt not to sweat or drool on the machine as we're making the video. And boom, that's a bit tighter. Now I'm going to then switch hands, and I'll tighten this side. And I didn't tighten it that tight. I just tightened it till it got some resistance. And then what I'll do is now that this is pretty much staying, I'll go through and I'll tighten them a bit, like another, not even quarter turn, like an eighth of a turn more, right? Okay, so now we've done that, right? So it looks like we've completed all of this. We move to the next page. On the next page, it says, lastly, click Z equals 0, which is this middle button right here, right? On the bottom, press. It says setting Z to 0, enter or return, enter. 0 setup succeeded. It says rise platform now, enter. Now, after you do that, obviously this is raising up, and I think it's raising up. We'll be able to do certain other things. It's going to raise to a certain height where we can install the vat. So it says the printing platform will automatically lift up to a certain height, which is convenient for UV exposure test and installation of the resin vat. Take out the paper. Okay, that's this. And after you take out the paper, you could have used another piece of paper. I saw people online, what they did is they cut a paper to fit this. However, it's cool that it comes with one, so it saves you that time. Click detection on the screen. So detection, the middle button. After we click detection, it says, please set the exposure time of the test image. Now, if we're looking at this manual, it says, click next. I think this is supposed to be 5, huh? Let's look at this real quick. Is that an S? Oh, it doesn't say anything. I guess a S, huh? So I'm going to click on next. It says exposuring. And you can see right here, boom, lit up with that UV light. And it says end, right? I don't know, huh? That looks like it was correct. End. Just maybe we click return. Oh, maybe the exposure is good. That part of the instructions is not clear, yo. The next piece, and this is the resin vat, huh? It comes in a nice hefty Ziploc bag. And what we're going to do is open this and then install it. It comes with 2 screws that are next to me on the table that I'm going to grab. And I think you see how it says max right here? I think that has to be at the back, right? So it says max right there. We're going to slide this puppy on, and it looks like there's enough room. But if there wasn't, you could go into the move Z and tell it to move up, right? As I move this thing back, it kind of just sits in place. Here are the 2 screws right here. I'm going to pull off the little, I don't know, tissue paper or whatever it is, and they go into the side right here. Now, when I bring this in, I can start turning it. I'm going to, at the same time, I'm going to do the other one. And I'm going to keep turning, keep turning, keep turning, keep turning. Okay. I over-tighten things. This is one of my issues. And I have a little bit of muscle. So what happens, I over-tighten shit and it breaks. So I'm trying not to do it too much, but I'm trying to do it tight enough, right? And as you can see, here we are in this. And it says, after we install the vat, I think we're good to go, huh? So one of the things you might notice, let's move the platform up. I'll click on Move Z right here. I'm going to change this to 10 millimeter, and I'm going to say up. Now, as you can see, it's moving the build platform up. I'm going to do this a few times because what I want to do is pour resin in there. Almost there. All right, so a few things. Now, when I look at this, I don't know. Maybe we should take this out. I don't know if there's a sticker in here, but I see something on the build platform, and we are not too far. We're not committed just yet. Let's pull it out and look at it. So I'm taking off these screws. After I take off the screw, you know what it is? It's right here, huh? This little piece of red. It doesn't say anything about taking this off, but clearly this is meant to be removed, right? So I'm going to pull this off. I thought it was on this, but it was not. Next, I'm going to put this back down. And again, I'm going to take these screws, pop them in the sides. Turn that, turn that, turn that, turn that, turn that, turn that, baby, turn, baby. All right. So now, and I don't know, right? Probably not supposed to. Let me put these gloves. It came with a bunch of gloves, which is strange to me because This is not like a big supply of them. It's like a trial. And it would make more sense that if it included gloves, why doesn't it include resin? If it doesn't include resin, why include the gloves? Because anyways, these aren't going to last. You're going to have to buy some anyway. And so anyways, let's put one of these on. And wow, it feels like extra large. I don't know because I wear a large and they're loose on me. I don't know if they're all like that. We can check in a second. But the reason I did this is I wanted to bring my finger here, and there was like a little speck of white dust or something, and I wanted to clean that before I poured the resin. So next, what we're going to do is take this resin, and you see this max line that's in here? That's the max line that you're supposed to pour the resin to. So keep it right there. Let's go ahead and pour this resin in. So I just opened this up. And mind you, this stuff is toxic, huh? So I'm going to pour this right here. And as you can see, it filled up that, well, it didn't fill up the bottom, but I'm not going to make a huge print. I'm just going to do the test print. There we go, something like this. Now, let's move back a bit. I'm going to grab, these paper towels clearly didn't come with it either. But I have them here because I'm going to wipe the top. And I don't think you're actually supposed to inhale the smell of the resin. However, it doesn't smell that much at the moment, because we're not printing. However, this thing did come with a mask similar to the COVID masks I got. So I guess I could just use those. I also have a nicer woodworking mask that I use. But yeah, so let's just pop this puppy on. Pretend we're outside with COVID restrictions, right? Hello, sir. Anyway, so we've got some stuff in here. This did come with a USB stick. I'm going to insert it on the side right here. And it goes right there. You don't have to show that. It's just on the side. Huh? So when we put that in, we can go back to the home. Whoops. No, stop. We want to go back. We don't want to press home. I think home would have dropped this all the way in, huh? So instead, what we want to do is return here. We want to go to print. We're going to say test.pm whatever. Oh, actually, we're missing one step. Remember from the manual. So it says door detection function. We have to go to tools, then we have to go to the lock, tools, click on the lock. It says, boom. And when you press that lock, what happened is it says that the door detection, now when I put the door or the yellow thing on top, the hood, it will not print if it's not on, which by default it's not set that way, but it should be, right? Anyways, let's go back. Let's go to print. Let's go to test. Test is from the USB stick. It shows you this little cube, and we're going to press play after we put this top on, right? I'm going to take the top. And by the way, this sticker right here in the back, you're not supposed to remove it because this is what is doing the door or the hood protection. Now, it doesn't lock. Now, there's this little bit movement, but it does sit over a lip, right? So we're going to come here, we're going to press play, and notice this puppy's going down. This, if this is set up, this is going to work, baby. It's definitely a bit exciting. I've got my mask on, I've got the door open. Does the door need to be open? I'm not sure. I need to read more about this, but just taking whatever precautions you need to take. And you'll notice, boom, this thing covered in resin, huh? So let's see, what does it say? It says it's printing. It says 0 of 1481. It says it's going to take 3 minutes and 48 seconds. However, it has not started yet. So I don't know. It definitely makes some noise. Well, I suppose this is some type of warm-up, which is interesting because the way this resin cures is this resin cures by exposing UV light to the resin underneath the build plate. And every time it lifts a layer, it exposes a UV image of the layer in which it's trying to create, right? So something's happening because I just saw the resin move, right? And I'm looking here and it says 1 of 1481, huh? The time went down 1 second. This better not be 3 days and 40 seconds. I mean, because shouldn't it be moving second by second? Maybe once it starts printing, I don't know, huh? Well, we're waiting. We'll see. There is a blue line down here. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that, right? It seems like this blue line is moving, right? So if we look at it right here, it's right at the 1. Let's wait a second and come on, baby. What are you doing? I hear a new sound happening. Oh, it looks like the thing is moving up and down, huh? No, oh, it's number 2. And it says 3 minutes and 46. I don't know if that's 3 minutes, huh? Maybe it's 3 hours and 46 minutes. So what we are going to do is we're going to stop the camera, and because right now it's being held by my trusty camera person, and we're going to stop the camera, and I'm going to come back. I'm going to put it on tripod because if this is 3 hours and 46 minutes, we are not going to hold this through that whole time. So let me stop the camera, set it up on a tripod. We will time lapse the next part. Then we'll come back and we will talk about final thoughts. We'll see you in a bit. So I don't know why I didn't even think this thing was 3 hours and 40 whatever minutes, huh? It is done. I don't know if you can see it. Come on in here. It looks pretty cool, right? A cube with space in the center. And one of the things, careful, as you step back. One of the things that you have to keep in mind, or I didn't even know, huh? The fumes this thing gives off. It's enclosed more or less. But my apartment, I have both doors open. I had a fan going. The fumes in here. In fact, there was like a little taste on the front of my tongue of chemical whatever. And I was wearing a mask. You know, I'm wearing a mask more or less the whole time like this. And still, not nice, huh? Anyway, let's go ahead and take this off. And I'll show you what we're about to do, huh? So, yeah, let me grab a glove. And I have a few things going right here, huh? So first, we're going to put on this glove. I guess I should put that mask back on. This is the same gloves I used before, but the reality is I didn't touch any resin, so I could reuse it, huh? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the top off. Hopefully the smell is not that bad, huh? And I'm going to take with a scraper and knock this part into here, this glass dish bowl. Now, I ordered an ultrasonic cleaner. It says that's better than doing something like this, but that's not going to come for a week or so. The other thought is I'm going to build an enclosure, and I'm planning in my head exactly how. An enclosure for this, and then an enclosure maybe above it to cure it. In that, I will use the light and the little turntable over there. I'll show you that in a second. Anyway, so why don't we fill this up as I spray some on the desk, huh? So, anyways, this is isopropyl alcohol. It's not like it's bad or anything. And in fact, because this is really, really pure, it should evaporate quite quick, huh? And this has quite a smell to it, too. The purpose of this is to take any uncured resin off of the part, huh? And I don't know if this is I guess you can really use the isopropyl alcohol, but this shit is not cheap, huh? I think that there must be cheaper options. I ordered this on Amazon for like $10, and we for sure are gonna go through it to fill this, huh? And I actually might grab another. I have another one, huh? But not that I've had from before. I use alcohol to clean stuff, and whatever. So I'm trying to get this all out in there. And maybe there was a way to do this better. Maybe cut off the tip. There we go. It looks like we've got the whole amount in here. Knock on wood, this is enough. We're about to find out, huh? All right, so. Whew, now I have the smell of this, huh? Jeez. Jesus. Anyway, so trying not to show you guys my back too much, even though it might be sexy, but anyway. So let's take this off here, right? And you'll notice on this build platform, there's resin, huh? So I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna clean that off, but I'm gonna undo this top piece right here. And when I do that, I should be able to take this, slide this off. And before I do that, let me prepare this, right? We're gonna go right over here. So let me have you move over there. Next, I'm gonna try to make this so we don't drop resin on stuff. And I'm just gonna come under this build and there we go, just like that, right? Now this is in there. I'm gonna move that over. Next, I don't know how I'm gonna clean this, right? So I'm just putting this in here to get maybe some of that uncured resin off. And clearly this is not big enough for this. And maybe with this, right? I'm just kind of taking that resin down, huh? And this is hopefully getting it off the build plate. And I don't even know how necessary this is. You know, this is my first time. We're getting some on the desk or on the table, which, okay, I don't know. That's not good, I'm sure. And maybe I don't have to do this, huh? If you know, obviously I need to watch more videos, learn more. But if you know, leave it in the comments. And what I'm going to do here, maybe one more scrape there. Then we're going to take this back. And I'm going to slide this over back on the piece right here. Tighten up the top. And close this. Now I believe a countdown starts. I'm also going to take this. Put this back on top. And you have to do that, not because I think this cover doesn't let UV light pass. And one of the things is that's how this stuff cures. So what I'm going to do, let me show you this before we stop, right? So I have this little piece right here. And anyway, I need to clean up. But this little piece right here, what's going to happen is this light, and I'm taking it away from the part because this is UV, huh? And the camera person, don't look at this, but look at it, but don't look at it with your eyes, huh? So this is what's going to cure this after this. So 3 minutes inside the isopropyl alcohol. I think I'm supposed to let it maybe knock this thing around a bit, put it on different sides. And by doing that, what we're doing is we're getting all this, you see the uncured resin, it's going to the bottom, huh? That stuff is toxic, evidently. I mean, there was a lot of things I didn't know about. And so maybe this video helps somebody learn some stuff before, because it's not just about buying the printer, huh? I mean, this is not the bottom of the line, but if you buy one of the bottom of the line printers, they're pretty freaking cheap. However, all these other things, it can get expensive, huh? So I'm moving this around, and I think 3 minutes in here, I'm going to leave it for a second. When this is done, I'm going to take this off, and I will set up the light right here. This little turntable runs with by light. You could have it run outside, or the UV light from this should power it. It's solar powered. God, why didn't I think of that, huh? And so after I do that, it should be that the part cures. I'll come back, record that, and we'll be done, yo. Yeah. I'll be back. So it's been 3 minutes, more or less. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over. And you don't want to touch any of this resin. It's pretty bad. It's pretty toxic. In fact, what I'm going to do, and I don't even know if this is the right thing, I'm going to use this hook, and I'm going to put it in the side. It looks like this part is deformed a little, huh? But not that much. So what I'm going to do is put it right here. And the reason I'm putting this here, right, is I want all the isopropyl alcohol to dissolve before we start to cure it, right? So again, I'm just going to put this right there. The only reason that I'm using the paper towels, again, is to dissolve or let it dry from the isopropyl alcohol. This looks like it's okay. I'm going to move it over. And my hand has a little something on it. Hopefully, I don't know if it's resin or that it's Move this way, please. I don't know if it's resin or if it's what it is, right? So don't want to touch it, but we leave this, let it dry for a second. I'm going to put this on, right? And the reason I'm going to put this on is because I think we can reuse the isopropyl alcohol. If not, this was horrible that it was $10 for that, right? Okay, so there we go. There we go. Now it won't evaporate because now this is airtight. I'm going to move this over here. The reason I have the light pointed this way is because this UV light could potentially cure that resin. And I'm not exactly sure what to do yet. So I need to look online, figure that out. But this is the part, huh? So if I hold this and you come in, right? You can see inside, it says Anycubic, which is Photon, which is the name of this machine, right? You couldn't do this on a regular FDM 3D printer, right? So this is pretty cool. And this is meant to have this base. Hold on, let me turn this, pick it back up. There we go. You can see in the bottom, it's meant to have the base. Otherwise, right, you would clip it, right, before you cure this. Now, this is not solid, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over here, the little turntable. I'm going to move the light here. The light has a little switch. This should power this. I don't want this to be in the line of sight of that light, so I'm going to move it back over there and even turn this light like this so it's away from everything. Move anything that could potentially cure with the light, right? So now, as this is probably dry, I'm just looking at any wet spots to pick with that. I don't even know if you're supposed to do that, right? But this, what a print, huh? It came out great. I thought it was a little deformed. And as I turn this around, it looks really good, huh? Maybe the reason it looks deformed or looked deformed was because of these straight pieces inside that say Anycubic and Photon. And I'm going to just take this, I'm going to put this on top of the turntable, right, that is solar powered. I'm going to turn this on, and let's see. It starts turning. I don't know exactly how long it needs to cure here for. Maybe an hour or something like that. I will let you know in the comments. But guys, that's it. The Anycubic Photon Mono X. This is the first time setting it up, first print, learning as we go. I hope you liked the video. You found it helpful. You found it useful. If you did, please like, subscribe, share the video with your friends. Until next time, I'm out.